Hey y'all, this is Dan back here at Camp Jackson Overland. Today we got a special one for you. We're gonna do some smoked baby back ribs, and these are gonna have a Memphis style sweet and spicy dry rub. I'll show you the rub and I'll put the ingredient list in the description. Once we get this on there, we're gonna get them into a smoker. We've already got that going. She's up to 250 degrees, and I do have a water pan in there for moisture, and she's loaded with hickory for this particular cook. Stick around. All right, let's get these ready. First, we're going to start with the ribs. And we need to remove any little pieces of meat on there that are just going to burn up in the cook. Which on these, they're not too awful bad, but we're looking for any, well, like that. Little pieces hanging off of there. Top sides, we don't want to remove very much of this fat because a lot of that's the flavor. Don't get rid of that. All right, let's flip these over and take a look at the back sides. And see, little flaps of meat like this are just going to burn up when we do the cook. Little thin stuff like that, that's all we want to remove. It's not going to do you any good to leave it on there, because when you're done, you're not going to be able to eat it anyways. Now some people will remove the membrane on the back side of the ribs here. A lot of times I won't, but if you wanted to, all you got to do is get underneath that membrane and use you a couple of paper towels, and you can peel it off of there pretty easily. And you want to remove this whole section across here. That membrane will cover just the back side of the ribs. Let's check out this other one. Yep, same thing. We got this little flap of meat here. Let's get rid of that. Everything else, that's not too awful bad there. It was a pretty good set of ribs. All right. Those look pretty good. Now let me get these gloves off and let's get this rub made up. All right, we got the ribs ready. Wasn't very much trimming to them. Now let's get this rub made up, and remember, I'll put the amounts in the description for you. We're going to start out here with just a basic mixing bowl, and I have a unusually oversized fork. It's a serving fork, but we have 1.5 cups of turbinado sugar. We have our paprika. We have our chili powder. We have our kosher salt. We have our garlic powder. We have onion powder. We have mustard powder. We have cayenne pepper. We have cumin. And we have black pepper. Now all we're going to do is give that a good mix. And you just want to get everything incorporated. And then we're going to take this rub and just coat those ribs really, really good with it and get them off in that smoker. Now while I'm doing this, sitting beside me here, I do have some additional turbinado sugar. And that is for halfway through the cook, because after about 2 hours, we're going to wrap these in foil and put them back in. And when we do, we're going to need the additional sugar. We're going to need some honey, and we're going to need apple juice. That's pretty good right there. All right, let me get another pair of gloves on here. All right, our rub is ready. Let's get these on these ribs and get them off in that smoker. Remember, we're going to coat these very generously, so don't be shy about it. And halfway through that cook, we are going to need a little bit of this rub. So save some of that. Now too, as you can see, I'm working with one hand in the spice rub and one hand is on the ribs. I don't want to get that raw pork into my spice rub, because what I don't use, I will probably save if there's any left. Remember, like I said, be very generous with them. All right, get them flipped over. Let's get that other side done. And don't forget the ends and the sides. Get all this done. There we go. Coated up there pretty generous. Like I said, just make sure you get all parts of them. We want seasoning on every bit of this. All right, let's get these in. Let's get these bad boys in the smoker and get them going. Oh, I love the smell of that. Now I'm going to put both of these on this top rack. And then I do have an external thermometer sitting in here to keep track of the box temperature. I never do trust the thermometers that come with them. See, now I didn't put gloves on, but that's why you carry a towel with you. It's for your hands. Alrighty folks, ready for the next step. These ribs have been in this smoker for a good 2 hours now, and it's time to get them wrapped, and they're gonna go back in for about another 2 hours, still at 250 degrees. We do have our brown sugar, some of our leftover rub, the honey, and the apple juice to go in these, and foil to wrap them up with. So I've already pulled them out of the smoker. You can see they got a nice beautiful color to them, a nice amber color that we're looking for. So let's get them wrapped up and we'll get them back in there. All right, we gotta hurry up and do this. This wind is just wreaking havoc on me. So I've already got my foil down. I've got a layer of the rub, and I've got some of our brown sugar in there. We'll get this first rack of ribs on, and we're gonna lay them face down on that. Then we're gonna add some more of our rub to the back side. We're gonna add some more of this sugar on there. And we're gonna give it a pretty good shot of honey. And remember, all you gotta do on the other rack is the same thing. Give her a pretty good dose of it there. Remember, these are gonna be sweet and spicy. All right. Now if we can wrap these up, and then we'll get the other ones done the same way. And we'll start folding these sides up to hold that apple juice in there. And all we want is our apple juice. We want a few good tablespoons or so in there, maybe 3 or 4 or 5. Just shoot it down in there around the sides of it. And then get these sealed up. Try not to poke any holes in your foil though. You don't want all that juice to run out. All right, there's one ready to go. I'm gonna do the other one the same way and get them back in this smoker. And another 2 hours, give or take. We want it to be nice and tender, but if you're checking with a thermometer for temperature, you're looking for right at 200 degrees in between the bones and the meat. Anything less than that and the ribs will be a little tough. Beyond that and the ribs will be way too tender. If you can pick the rib up and the meat just falls off the bone, then you've taken it too far. Ribs should have a good bite to them, be tender, and come off the bone when you bite it, but not just falling off the bone all by itself when you pick it up. Let me get the other ones done, and I'll see you when these come out of the smoker. Well, we've been about 4 hours now, and the ribs are finally done. It has gotten a little dark outside on me, not to mention that wind that I've been fighting all day long, so I went ahead and brought you inside. And we're going to get this first one opened up and cut into it and see how we did. I'm going to plate up a few of them here, and we'll call it a night. So, I took these out, and they feel so tender. All that juice wanting to run out of there. Oh, and you can see the ribs are sticking out past the meat. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide these back onto this pan here, because we want to keep all that juice. Oh, them bad boys are hot. Let's see if we can cut us a few of them here. If I can find the bones. St. Louis style is easy because you can see the bones on there. Baby backs are a little bit harder. I tend to do them from the back side so I can see them easier. Oh, these are nice and tender. Just on the borderline of being too far. All right, close enough. See how we did there. Look at that. And hold it up there and it ain't falling off on its own. But you give it a little tug and the meat comes right off. Just like that. That's what we're looking for. Let me cut up a couple more pieces here and get them on a plate. And then I'm going to have to stop so I can eat some dinner. There we go. Got me a plate ready over here. See if we can get a few of these that we like the best. Like that. Get rid of the gloves. And remember that juice I was talking about. All that liquid that's in the bottom of that foil there. Just spoon some of that over it. Still got a lot of heat, a lot of spice, and a lot of sweet in it. Spoon that on it. Let's give it a little bit of garnish here. Just for looks. And that, my friends, is a Memphis style sweet and spicy dry rub baby back ribs, straight out of the smoker for you. Remember, if you like this one, hit that like button, subscribe, leave me a comment if you make these. Let me know how you did. You all have a good night.